how's it going? Isela here with the Truck Boss Show. Well, today we have a special guest. We have Miss Ellen Voie. She is President and CEO of Women in Trucking. Ellen, thank you for being with us on the show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
So, Ellen, talk to us about Women in Trucking. Tell us what you guys do and all the amazing things that's going on.
Well, Women in Trucking is a nonprofit organization. We're dues-based. We have about 5,200 members in 10 countries, and 15% of our members are men because they believe in our mission. And so our mission is pretty simple. It's to encourage the employment of women in the trucking industry. And that's all women. And I like to say it's the women who design the trucks, build the trucks, sell the trucks, fix the trucks, own the trucks, drive the trucks. So we represent all women in the trucking industry because it's still a very male-dominated environment.
Some of your women, you have some that are moms, you know, they still have children at home, but then you also have women who are older and they're just, is it more of a, I want something different in life. Let me do something for a change where I want to travel and just see different things.
Well, that's a great question because the average age of a female driver is right around 50. And so the typical female driver who comes into the industry does so because of a family member or friend. In fact, 83% come into the industry because somebody has convinced them, typically a husband, boyfriend, significant other, who says, hey, the kids are grown and they're out of the house. So why don't you go get your CDL and come out on the road with me? That's how most women get into the industry. So even though there are younger ones and there are many who have children, but typically the children are older.
We're in the middle of a crisis, the COVID-19 outbreak, and it just seems like everyone's working from home. But we have these women and men, because you have both, that are out there hitting that pavement.
You know, and they're my heroes. I mean, they're out there on the front lines so that people can go into a store and buy toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and they're being exposed. I mean, they're out there, they're buying fuel and they're eating in restaurants and having to use showers in public areas and things like that. So they're my heroes. They're on the front lines, and they just keep moving. And if they weren't moving, we wouldn't have things to buy as we stay at home, and they can't stay at home.
They are our heroes. With that being said, now, are there events that Women in Trucking attend to kind of spread the word and say, hey, listen, this is what our mission is. Want to join?
Yes. In fact, unfortunately, this week alone, the Great American Trucking Show was canceled, and we were planning on doing our Salute to Women Behind the Wheel, which is a huge event where we honor female professional drivers and give them a red T-shirt and take a photo, and we celebrate them and have a big cake in the shape of a truck and chocolate fountains, and that's canceled for this year. But we still have our conference, and our conference is still on. It's scheduled for the end of September 23rd through 25th in Dallas, and we're all keeping our fingers crossed that we can get out and be at the conference by then. But that's a huge event. Last year we had over 1,100 registered attendees at our conference, and that's all about empowering women.
I love the fact that Women in Trucking isn't just all women across the board. There's no discrimination. You also have your men involved, and you guys are teaming up and doing it together. So I can say that, great job.
Well, thank you. And I like to tell people we're not necessarily for women, we're about women. We're about getting women into the industry. And so we have to understand, you know, why do women come into trucking? Why do they leave trucking? How do we attract them? And how do we empower them? So that's what we're all about.
Well, Ellen, tell me, how did you get involved in the industry?
I was working for a steel fabricating plant in the drafting department, and they came to me and said, we'd like to move you into the traffic department, and we'll send you to school for traffic and transportation management. And so I was the assistant traffic manager and then was promoted to traffic manager and learned how to read tariffs and audit freight bills and, you know, everything about the industry. And so that started my career. I worked there until I started a family. And then for 18 years, I did licensing and permitting consulting to trucking companies in central Wisconsin. And then I went to the Trucker Buddy program. I ran that for about 6 years. And then I was hired by a large Midwestern trucking company. And they said, figure out how to attract and retain non-traditional groups. And women was one of the targets, the focus, better understanding how to bring more women into the industry. And that's when it occurred to me that, you know, we need an association so that we can be a resource and we can help the the industry better understand how to attract and retain and empower women. Women behind the wheel make the same amount of money as men. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter your age, your gender, your ethnicity. It doesn't matter because you're paid either by the mile, by the load, by the percentage. So, isn't that awesome?
Yes, it is. It can be sometimes a little boring or depressing or you name it, all kinds of emotions. What are you doing or have you done to kind of just bring that up?
Well, a few things. One of them is we have a great Facebook group, and it's moderated by professional drivers, and it's very positive and very uplifting. It's a safe place to ask questions. No recruiting, no profanity, no snarkiness. That's one. I have a radio show on Sirius XM, and we just a couple weeks ago we had the whole show was about steering toward kindness. It's our hashtag, steering toward kindness, and it was all of positive stories in the trucking industry and people sharing cool things. But here's what, just an hour ago, we came out with a new initiative. It's May, and Mother's Day is this coming weekend. So we're starting a new campaign, and it's going to be hashtag WIT Trucking Mom. And we're going to have kids, children and grandchildren, either send in videos or photos of their moms and grandmas who are truck drivers.
Letting them know that they're loved and recognized and appreciated for their hard work, regardless of everything that's going on,
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I hope that people will visit our website. It's www.womenintrucking.org.
That's here for the Truck Boss Show.